I'm gonna let you guys know right now, I did not rewatch the first one to prepare for this film because I felt that maybe I could give it a better chance by just going in blind. I don't want to compare, but I do remember tidbits enough to have a general idea as to what's happening in this film. So yeah, here's an unnecessary sequel to a film that came out 24 years ago. It's like what Jeremy John said in his review.
These are some big shoes to fill.
And yeah, there are some huge fucking shoes to fill because Paul Mescal needs to be able to stand in the spot where Russell Crowe once stood. There is a huge stellar cast here with Connie Nielsen reprising her role from the first film, and with Ridley Scott at the mantle here, how can this go wrong? Well, like many of his films and franchises that get sequels, sometimes they just turn into slop. That's not to say that this movie isn't entertaining, it's just sorta kinda bland. We follow Lucius, portrayed by Paul Mescal, who is the son of Russell Crowe's Maximus. After disappearing for years, he is brought back as a gladiator to fight for Denzel Washington, who is just Denzel. After Pedro Pascal leads the Roman army into Paul Mescal's homeland that kills his wife, Paul Mescal seeks revenge for the death of his wife with Pedro Pascal's head. But perhaps there is a greater threat at play that Lucius must stand up against. That Lucius must embrace his father's dream. Because apparently after some years, Maximus's dream for a better Rome just kind of disappeared, and now it's led by the two twins played by Joseph Quinn and Fred Heckinger. Whatever, they're twins and they're basically a branch of Joaquin Phoenix's Emperor, you know, in the first film. The narrative for this film is goddamn convoluted. I mean, there are so many things happening at once, it is just completely rushed. Paul Mescal is fighting as a gladiator in the ring seeking revenge for his wife. Pedro Pascal and Connie Nielsen are plotting something that I cannot say out loud because it will spoil the film for you. Denzel Washington's character has a backstory with Connie Nielsen's character's father. I mean, holy shit, it's basically like Dune. Plans within plans within plans. Character and emotional arcs are just coming in and getting thrown out immediately. There's no build-up or development to anything that's happening in this movie. The revenge path that Lucius goes on is unsatisfying as fuck. While there are some badass and awesome action scenes here with the scale of Ridley Scott, this film unfortunately just falls flat. Also, some of the choreography here was just kind of awkward and weird, like it just didn't make sense at certain points, and the cuts just kind of threw me off. The score of the original film does return here, thankfully. We're not getting that trash, garbage, hip-hop rap thing that came out on the teaser trailer or whatever. You know, because, well, there's a black guy in this movie, so we need to play some hip-hop music to represent, you know what I'm saying? And my goodness, the writing for these characters is just so lackluster. You can tell these actors and actresses are trying very hard to deliver a great performance, but they're just not given enough to work with. Paul Mescal's character is immediately a leader to all these gladiators that don't even know him. There just isn't enough believable development for Paul Mescal to be able to sit in the boots of Russell Crowe. Not saying that he can't do it, because Paul Mescal was great. He is great in this film. So is everyone else. It's just unfortunate that everything is just so damn rushed. Well, except for one actor, and that his name is Denzel Washington. Look, I like Denzel Washington, but unfortunately, he is just goddamn insufferable here. It's just Denzel as Denzel. He talks like himself. He sounds like a modern day Denzel Washington in a Denzel movie. I'm sorry, when everyone else is giving some different accent, tone, voice to their characters in order to make it a believable time period, Denzel is just talking like Denzel, and it just constantly threw me out of the movie. I walked out of this movie not really giving much of a fuck as to what happened here. As a matter of fact, I honestly am starting to forget. I know I've been ranting a whole lot negatively towards this movie, but there is a lot of fun to be had. It's just so damn unfortunate that they condensed so much into one sequel when they could have split this up into two movies in order to help build this up a bit better. There are bits of greatness here. The action sequences were pretty good, pretty badass. The opening battle sequence for this film was pretty fucking awesome. I wish we got a little bit more, but they kind of copped out with the way they just cut forward, you know, from this war. I can see this movie being praised a little better if it wasn't a sequel to such a legendary film, but unfortunately, it definitely lives under the shadow of the original and does not succeed in any way. great. Well, okay, maybe the VFX and practical effects and special effects, you know, all the updated tech stuff. Overall, Gladiator 2 is an underwhelming sequel that did not need to exist whatsoever. Is this movie entertaining? Absolutely. Will you remember it in a day or two or a week? Probably not. God, this just sucks, man. This could have been a great trilogy, but instead they just stuck everything into one sequel, and we just got this schlop. Alright, that's enough of me. I'll catch you guys next time.